Hello, YouTube. Jared here from Wargaming with Jared, and I have three different deals that I have recently come across, including an unannounced beginner set for Warhammer that I want to share with you today. So, we're taking a break from my normal content. I stumbled across the first two deals and thought they were pretty interesting. But this third deal, I have found no documentation anywhere. I've double checked Warcom, I've double checked other channels, I've dug into Warhammer lexicon to see if this is something I was missing, but I think I've discovered a unannounced starter box for Warhammer. So let me show you what I have found, and hopefully one of these deals is something you're interested in. So the first thing of note is on Hachette's US site, the Fronteras Battlefield Terrain Pack and the Chief Librarian have both been out of stock for a while. It wasn't expected that these would go back into stock, but if you're looking for a terrain deal or a hero for your Ultramarines, both of these are in stock, and I'll have the link below if you're interested in picking them up. I picked up both of these already. I've painted both of these. These are both phenomenal deals. You get a ton of terrain for $100, and then a named hero for $15 is a ridiculously good deal. So both of these are really good deals. Harkin World Claimer is still unavailable. The binders have been available the whole time, so that wasn't a restock. But we did see restocks on the train pack, and so I thought that was pretty interesting. The UK site version has all of the magazines that you could buy bulk. Rumor is US isn't going to get that. I hope we do. If we get previous editions models for $15 a pop, that would be amazing. But I'm watching this site. Keep an eye on the site. Maybe there's a chance. Maybe there's a chance. It'd be really cool if we get it, but I'm not holding my breath if we don't. But at the very least, terrain packs up and at 'em. So if you're looking for some good terrain for a good price, Battlefield in a box is back in stock. So that's the first deal I spotted. And then the second deal I spotted, the Dawn of War board game is back in stock at Target. This is roughly 400 points of models. You get 3 heroes, a squad of Blade Guard, a squad of the Heavy Melter Guns. This is the original from the Indominus box. This is the command sprue from Indominus, and it goes for well over 100 on GW's website. It's very overpriced, but Dawn of War is a full board game with that full original sprue. Everybody ranted and raves. I made videos on it. It sold out multiple times, and I wasn't expecting it to restock, especially because it was available in 2 places. It was available on Target and Barnes & Noble. Barnes & Noble has delisted it. You cannot find it listed. So Barnes & Noble is not going to restock. So when I saw that, I figured Target was also done. But Target's got it back in stock at a lot of stores. I actually got another copy of it for myself. But this is still floating around here. And the reason I bring it up, if you buy most of the combat patrols, you'll get around 700, 800 points of models, especially these new starter boxes. If you add this Dawn of War box, that'll get you 1,000 points for $50. The best part is the Ancient and the Judicar can now combo and both team lead the Blade Guard. So this edition is even better for the Dawn of War sprue. And so if you haven't picked up the sprue, it's ridiculously good. Don't pick it up to try to scalp it. A lot of people did. This thing does not move on eBay or the secondary market because everybody knows it was discounted. Nobody wants to pay $100 when they know your $50 sticker is still on there. So please don't try to scalp this thing. It doesn't work. There's a couple guys who picked it up and hoped to sell an extra copy, and they're still floating around. Doesn't scalp, but if you need Space Marines to round out your force, this is a good deal. Hit Target up before it sells out again. Very likely this is the last restock. So that's the second deal I ran into. I ran into both those deals and thought, okay, I could make a video, but maybe they're going to be out of stock before anything. And then I discovered this. Remember how I was looking at Barnes & Noble? Well, Barnes & Noble has starter boxes. There's a Kill Team beginner set, and there's a Age of Sigmar beginner set. But there's never been a Warhammer beginner set. It was called something else. It was either Combat Arena or it was the Space Marine box that had Titus and the other guys in it, but there wasn't a Warhammer starter box. It was called something else. And now I'm seeing a beginner set listed here. It's still listed as out of stock. It's saying it's only been around for a few days. Don't know how much truth is it. It might just be a glitch or an error. Maybe this was another box and that's just placeholder text that was left in. But I suspect Barnes and Noble is going to get some kind of beginner box. Here's the other thing that's really odd to me. It's listed at $42. And none of the starter boxes that were in that Warcom article are going to sell for $42. They're 80 something and up. Maybe a $75 box if we're lucky. But realistically, this listing right here, this description says publication date of only a few days ago. This description doesn't match any of the other boxes that I've seen. And so I suspect that Warhammer is going to have a box. I'm hoping it's the new Intercessors, the new Knob and Boys, and then it won't have the paints, because I can't see Barnes & Noble wanting to sell a box that has paint in it. That's generally not something they're going to want to do. Maybe, I mean, they have other craft stuff, I suppose, but I suspect there's going to be another box that rolls out in the next week or so that's a Barnes and Noble exclusive, because every year they've always had a new Barnes and Noble box. We are overdue for the next Barnes and Noble box. They just got rid of the Dawn of War box. What are they going to replace that box with? Because they're going to want to have a 40K box. And right now, there isn't a 40K box. And so I'm looking at this going, all right, what's Barnes and Noble going to bring to the table for 40K? We got a new edition. It's got to be something, right? And so I'm thinking that this is legit, because they had that Kill Team box. Nobody liked it because it was like half complete squads and it was listed wrong. Then there was a Space Marine Tyranid attack box. That thing's been out forever. We're overdue for a Barnes & Noble box. The Lair of the Beast box is still out. If you haven't picked that up, great way to get the Blackstone Fortress minis are in that. And the Amble for $35. So if you want an Amble and the Blackstone Fortress heroes, you got to pick up Combat Arena Lair of the Beast. But that's not really 40K. That's more classic board game. There's a hole, and there's a new listing that wasn't there until very, very recently. And so unless there's a box that I just completely imagined or forgot existed, I'm pretty sure this is gonna be a new box. And all of the new boxes that were announced were starter box, start collecting, start painting kind of things, not beginner set. Beginner set matches Age of Sigmar beginner set and Kill Team beginner set. This would round out that set. And so I'm thinking this is going to be an even more pared down version, because that's what Age of Sigmar has. Age of Sigmar beginner set has just five Stormcast and then a handful of Skaven. No heroes in it, if I remember right. I think it's literally just 15 models, if I recall correctly. Yeah, I just pulled it up and double checked. It is literally five minis and maybe 10 or 15 minutes. No, 5 and 20, but it has so few models in it and no heroes. I'm betting that's what this is going to be. It's going to be an even more pared down. Here's a couple of models, but this could be a way, if we're lucky, to get those upgrade boys, the monopose upgrade boys, or maybe get that lieutenant, or maybe get some other alternate pose Space Marines without having to buy the paint set every time. Because they've announced that box with paint, and it means you're going to have to keep buying it with the paints and get too many paints. So I'm hoping Barnes & Noble is going to give us a loophole. So watch this listing. Maybe it disappears. Maybe it was a placeholder. But if there's a chance that this is something good and it's worth keeping an eye on. So definitely, if you're looking to pick up the Dawn of War box, it's back in stock. Maybe for the last time, I don't know. But if you're looking for terrain, Hachette's got that deal, and maybe there's another deal coming there. But this deal right here, this might be something. And that $42 price tag is really, really tempting. If it's five intercessors and 5 orcs for 42, that's not a bad price at all, especially if it's something you can use for upgrades. So be watching this space, and I appreciate you watching my video. I hope this was helpful to you. It would mean a lot to me if you'd subscribe to my channel. My channel is growing slowly, but it is not yet funded up to 1,000 subscribers or whatever it is YouTube wants. And so every subscription, every like really helps this channel grow. And if I can get my channel up to 1,000 subscribers, I can kind of justify spending a little bit more time making videos. Next video is going to be my Eldari army that I just completed tonight. I'm going to do a showcase on that. I'm trying to paint 11 armies for 11th edition. That's my big challenge right now. So I have until next summer to finish 11 armies to 2,000 points. So if that sounds at all interesting, I'd love it if you'd subscribe. But in the meantime, thank you so much for watching my video. I hope you all have a wonderful day, and I will hopefully see you in my next video. You have a great day now.